Now, since the beginning of August, I've been running my entire camper van off of one battery pack. That is the Bluetti AC200 Max. And I have to say, for the last 3 months, it has run flawlessly. I've got no complaints to make at all, and I'm really surprised by that and a little bit disappointed, because I was hoping to report back to you with some kind of drama, but no, there's no drama at all. It's worked perfectly fine and absolutely flawless. And charging my AC200 Max has been completely drama free as well. Bearing in mind I've only got 300 watt solar panel on the roof of my van, and also I'm relying on my alternator to charge the Bluetti when I'm driving. And during that 3-month period I've had no issues with that side of things either, except for one occasion when the Bluetti AC200 Max did actually drop down to 20%. But then it was, or it had been, quite a few weeks of miserable weather. It wasn't until I had to go and get my van MOT'd and I had to go all the way to Kent to my lockup that my battery got charged back up to around about 89%. So I've done nothing differently over the last 3 months. I've been pretty much living my life the same and going through the same routines as I would have done when I had the AGMs fitted in my van. Since fitting the AC200, I've not had to plug into shore power once. So I'm really pleased with it. But like I say, there was that one occasion when they did go down to 20%. So I got in touch with Bluetti and said, look, I'm a little bit worried. My battery went down to 20%. Do I need more solar panel or do I need an extra battery? So Bluetti responded by saying, well, there's one way to find out. We will send you an extra battery pack. So I'd like to say a massive thank you to Bluetti for sending me this extra battery pack to add to my existing AC200 Max. And by adding this battery pack, it will literally double the capacity of the AC200 Max. I can't wait to plug this in and see what difference it makes. I've got a feeling my battery and power anxiety levels are going to drop to an all-time low. So thank you, Bluetti. So before I install this permanently into my van, let's take a close look at what this expansion battery pack can actually do. After all, it is more than just a battery. Take a look at all the little features on here. Let's take a close look at this and then we'll put it to the test, plug it in and see how it performs. So this battery pack is the Bluetti B230. It has a battery built into this which is 2048 watt hours. It is designed to work alongside the AC200 Max, and to connect this expansion pack up to the AC200 Max you simply use this plug socket here and this cable to plug it in and join the two together. But I'll show you this connected up in a little while. It has USB ports here. It's got a standard USB and a USB-C, so you can charge your laptop and your other devices straight from this as well as 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter socket outlet. So theoretically you could actually just use this in your van if you didn't want 240 volt. And of course you're going to want to know how much power this has actually got in it. So if you turn it on, it's got rather basic but usable light system up here, and it tells you how far along it is charged or discharged for that matter. And that is about it. It's really basic, but you, like I say, you can use this independently of the AC200 Max. This is actually down below me underneath my bench, so I'm going to have to move the camera, lift my bench up, and we'll take a look at the AC200 Max, how it's connected permanently into my van, and then we'll plug this in and see how it performs. So here it is, here's the AC200 Max installed into my van. As you can see, it was a temporary installation. I never installed this to be permanent in my van. I just wanted to put it through its paces and test it to make sure it worked before installing it permanently. Now, if you did actually miss that video of me installing this into my van and you're interested in how all this works, then I'll link that video at the end of this video just for your viewing convenience. But since installing this and making that original video, Bluetti have updated the app. Here's the new version. Let me know what you think compared to the old version. The battery is now at 55%. It's in the evening, so I'm drawing no power coming in, but I am using 51 watts. But then I have got all my studio lights switched on, so that's why it's drawing 51 watts at the moment. So let's plug in the B230 and see what difference it actually makes. I'm going to have to unstrap it first. It's all strapped in for security. And you'll notice I did actually fit a smoke alarm as well, just in case. And I'm pleased to say the smoke alarm has never gone off. So here's where it plugs in. I can't turn it round any more than that because this cable's quite short. I don't want to risk pulling it. It's this expansion pack cable. Let's just untangle it. Maybe we'll have it that way round. Seems like it curves that way naturally. Might be better. Make sure it's unlocked. Plug it in. We've got a locking mechanism here that goes forward. Once that is switched forward, we can't actually push that down. So there you go. That's not going to come out of there. So now that's plugged in, we can spin this back around the right way. Like that. Again, we just simply plug this in there, like that. Lock the switch on. Apparently if you don't lock it, they won't work. So that's plugged in and we switch it on, and that is pretty much it. We're now connected up. Let's have a look, see what happens. Ah, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. It's gone from 55% to 67%. So it must work out an average between this battery and that battery and then show you the percentage there. I like that. I do like that. Yeah, it's saying 67% on the app as well. Still got my shaver on there on charge, look. Right, it's got rid of my shaver. That was confusing things a bit, I think. So hopefully, I'm really hoping that this will fit like that, because then I can have the display panel at the front here and I can get to all the plugs and everything there. So all these wires, oh look, that wire's still tight. Well, as you can see, I had a slight change of plan. I thought it might be a bit better if I had the expansion pack at the front and the main unit tucked away at the back. And by doing it this way, it makes it a lot easier to remove this battery expansion pack if ever I have to. I can simply unplug it and take it out of the van. And another good thing is the 100 watt USB outlet is now at the front, making it a lot easier for me to access this whenever I want to charge my laptop, rather than drawing power from the main unit. But the real big question on my mind is, will this charge these battery packs evenly like it would do if you had a battery bank, or will it prioritise one over the other when it's charging? But unfortunately it's got dark outside now, so I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow for the sun to shine to find out if it will charge evenly, or, like I say, prioritise one over the other. I suppose I could always start my engine and have a look and see how it charges, but I think I'd rather wait till tomorrow morning when the sun is shining. That way I can really test it out and see how it's going to react. So here's something that's interesting. I'm all settled down for the night. I've put everything away. I'm just about to get changed and ready for bed. Turn my diesel heater on because it's getting a little bit chilly, and I've noticed something on the app. Now the main battery pack, as you can see, main battery pack is in standby mode, but the expansion battery pack is discharging. So in other words, it's drawing power from the battery pack that's got the most state of charge. So it's discharging from the expansion pack, not the main unit. That's really interesting. I'm wondering if it's discharging from the backup battery because it is at 75% and the main unit is down to 55%. I wonder what will happen when they both come down and equalise. I'm going to have to try and run the battery down now deliberately to 55% to see what happens. Interesting. I'll be right back. Well, good morning. It is 25 minutes to 8 the very next day. The main battery bank is down to 54%, surprisingly enough, and the backup battery is now down to 59%, so I need to bring that down a bit more. You can hear my diesel heater's just switched itself off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee using my induction cooktop, hopefully bringing this battery back. Sorry, I've just got up. Hopefully I'm going to bring the expansion battery down to the level, the same level as the main battery bank, and then we'll see what happens when I start the engine. Which one is it going to charge? Which one's going to get priority, or will it charge both simultaneously? I think that's what I'm trying to experiment with anyway. Right, first of all I've got to turn it on. Just turn my induction cooktop on, cook using the app. I did sleep really well last night, I've got to admit. I do need to make my bed still. Oh, turn my water pump on. I've literally just woke up. The first thing I thought about was finishing off this video and seeing just how this works. Right, let's get this kettle on. And I'll be right back. Oh yeah, I'm using my induction cooktop, look. So I'm going to boil the kettle, that should bring the battery down, hopefully. Oh, look at that. It's discharging from both of the batteries at the same time. There you go, because I'm using 240 volts, it's actually drawing from both the batteries. That's interesting, wasn't expecting that. So that's not going to work, is it? Because I wanted it to draw from the backup battery, or the expansion battery. And it's actually discharging from both batteries at the same time. So I think it's safe to say that both batteries are working like a traditional battery bank would. So if you had two batteries in your van and you used an induction cooktop or an inverter, then it would draw from both of those batteries. It's doing exactly that. I'm quite surprised by that. Anyway, I'm going to have a coffee. I'll get back to you when both batteries are at the same level, and then we'll see how they charge, if they charge together or if they charge separately. That's the thing I'm most interested in, but that is really interesting. Where's my remote gone? Right, I'm going to have a coffee, get dressed, make my bed, and I'll be right back. Well, I've made my bed, I've had my coffee, I've got dressed, and the main battery bank is down to 52%, so that's stayed the same. Pack 2, the expansion battery, is down to 54%, so it's only gone down 1% in that time. So rather than wait for that pack 2 to come down and equal out, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and start my engine just to see if it does charge both batteries at the same time. After all, when I used my induction top, it did draw from both batteries at the same time, so I see no reason why it shouldn't charge them both together. Now, in case you're wondering why I'm doing this experiment and why I'm so interested in this, is because I actually saw on another YouTube channel that the Bluetti AC200 Max doesn't charge the batteries together. It prioritises the main bank and then only charges the secondary battery pack once the main bank is fully charged. And for me, that doesn't quite make sense. So that's why I'm doing this experiment, just for my own curiosity, I suppose. Right, let's jump in the front, start my engine, and see if it does prioritise the main unit over the battery expansion pack. Right, let's get the engine running. Okay, so my engine's running. Now, it is charging the main battery bank. It says there, charge, and it's at 53%. So we'll see when that catches up with the expansion battery, will it then start charging both together? This is what I'm interested in finding out. We've got 1% to go, and out of interest, for those of you that are interested, my alternator is putting in 180 watts thereabouts, and I've got 10 watts coming in from solar. Not bad on a rainy, cloudy day like today. So I've got 10 watts coming in from solar, 180 from my alternator, and I'm using 17 watts for my lights that I've just put on. There you go, for those of you that want to see that. Right, so let's go back to our main battery bank, see what that's doing. Look at that, they're both charging together. So there you go, that's that myth busted. It does not prioritise the main battery bank over the expansion battery. It does charge both batteries together. There you go, and it uses power out of both batteries together. See, that didn't make sense to me when I saw that video and someone saying that it does that, it prioritised one over the other. It just didn't make sense. So there you go, both batteries are acting as one battery bank. It's not acting as two separate batteries like somebody else said in a video. That's that myth completely busted. Now, I guess time will tell how they both perform together. So I'm going to carry on recording this video in 1 week's time. I'm going to use my van during the week like I usually do, go about my daily business and see how those batteries perform over the following week, and whether or not we get enough sun or I drive my van enough to bring both of those batteries up to a better state of charge. So I shall finish recording this video in 1 week's time. Well, it's been 1 week and 1 day since I fitted the expansion battery to my van, and the weather during that period of time hasn't really been that great. We've had one nice sunny day, the rest of the time it's been either raining or grey and overcast. But I have driven my van on a few occasions, and yesterday I actually went for a little trip to visit some friends, and that was a 2-hour round trip. So although the weather hasn't been very good, it has been good in one respect because it simulated what it would be like in the depths of winter here in the UK. So with that in mind, I'm actually looking at this in a positive light because it shows me how my system will cope in the depths of winter. So let's take a look at the state of charge of those batteries now. We've had them in the van for just over a week. So I'm really shocked at the results. It turns out that the main battery bank has actually got priority over the expansion pack. The state of charge right now is at 72%. That's the main battery bank. And the expansion battery is right down to 12%. So it would seem that the main battery bank does get priority over the expansion battery. But a couple of things I have noticed is that when the engine is running and it's getting a lot of power going into the battery bank, it does charge both batteries. But when there's only a little bit of power coming in from the solar panel, all that power goes to the main battery bank. So I think that's why pack number 2 has actually come down on charge, because I simply haven't been driving that much and we simply haven't had a lot of solar. Now on the flip side of things, I've noticed that when I'm drawing not a lot of power, it's coming from the main battery bank, but when I use my induction cooktop, it draws power from both battery banks. So of course the auxiliary battery bank, because it's not getting as much charge, it's going to get flatter a lot quicker than the main bank. And when I think about it, it kind of makes sense, because if it was to act as one battery and there's not a lot of solar, both batteries would actually end up being flat and then you'd have no power. At least by draining one battery before the other, you know that once this battery bank has gone flat, you've still got enough reserved power in the main battery bank to keep you going. You simply then have to find a way to charge the auxiliary battery. So the more I think about this, the more it kind of makes sense, because in that situation, because it is a backup battery essentially, I can simply unplug it, take it into Bob's house and charge it up. So in conclusion, I kind of think it's a good thing, and as long as Bob doesn't mind me taking my battery bank into the house once a week to charge it up, I think I will get through this winter quite successfully. And the other option available to me, because Bluetti make portable solar panels, I could actually park somewhere on a sunny day, or one of the rare sunny days we have during the winter, and put some portable solar panels outside my van, face them to the sun, and as the sun moves I can move those solar panels and follow the sun across the winter sky, hopefully charging my auxiliary battery. I suppose you could do the same if you had a static battery bank in your van as well. Just need some portable solar panels and somewhere where you can use them. And of course the other option is to just go and find a quiet lay-by somewhere and plug in a petrol generator and charge both batteries at the same time. But like I said earlier, I rather fancy the idea of getting some portable solar panels, finding somewhere suitable to park up, and then putting those portable panels outside my van, plugging them into the auxiliary battery, and then track the winter sun across the sky. That option really does appeal to me. So I guess all I need now is some larger portable solar panels. So Bluetti, if you're watching this, you know where to send them. So I guess the big question is, do I actually think it's worth having the extra B230 battery bank in my van? Absolutely, especially all the time I'm here helping Rebecca build out her camper van, because whilst I'm here during the winter I can simply remove that battery bank, take it into Rebecca's and get it charged up, even if I only have to do it once a fortnight or maybe once a week. Who knows, I guess time will tell. But the one thing I'm really looking forward to is the summertime, because like I said earlier, I can actually double if not triple my solar input by using portable solar panels outside my van. And by doing that I know I'll be able to keep both those batteries fully charged, and I can forget about using LPG in my van and just rely solely on my induction cooktop. And for those reasons I really do appreciate Bluetti sending me those power packs and the extra battery bank. So once again I'd like to say thank you to Bluetti, and I will leave a link in the description of this video to take you directly to their website. And if you are thinking about buying any Bluetti products, then please do use those affiliate links down below, and don't forget to use the discount code BluettiMel. and hopefully you'll save yourself a few quid. Well, thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it informative and mildly entertaining. If you did, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra for now.